So we're down at Archie Watson's yard, Saxon Gate in Lambourne, to talk about Good Friday and his busy team of runners. Archie will start at Lingfield for all-weather finals day when you had a winner with Corinthia Night last year. Can you just start off by telling us a little bit like how good that was to have the winner at the meeting last year?
Yeah, look, it's a great end to the all-weather season, and Corinthia Night, he had a great winter last year. I think he won 3 of the fast tracks and a listed race in France, so it was great to top it off, and you know, a lot of prize money on offer, and it was a great day for his syndicate owners, and no, it was a very good day, yeah.
Spurred on by that, you've got a couple of runners at the meeting this year. We'll start with gorgeous NOORA, who looks to have the strongest of the chances, goes in the fillies and mares race, obviously stretching out in terms of distance. What's the sort of thinking behind that as opposed to going for a sprint race with her?
Look, I've no doubt she'll stay the trip. For me, it's just that the fillies and mares race will take less winning, you know, traditionally, and especially this year with Catchy in the sprint. I think he is a Group 1 horse on the all-weather. We've already, you know, finished a good second to him this year, but you know, he was sort of 3.5 lengths clear of us, and you know, I think against her own sex, and if she does get a good trip in running and stay the trip, then I hope she'll be very competitive. Yeah.
And you were saying that potentially it could be her last run, or depending on what happens, she might stay on for the turf a little bit afterwards as well.
Yeah, exactly. She was obviously bought. To put in foal, so it'll be up to the owners really. If you know, she'll go and be covered afterwards, and we'll make a plan from there. You know, if they'd like to retire her, then she'd have very much done her job already, getting black type. And if we do have a crack on the turf, I hope that we can, you know, hopefully end up somewhere like Royal Ascot with her, yeah.
Dozing in the sun behind you is your other all-weather finals day runner, Silver QUARTZ, who goes in the mile. It looks like sort of a solid outsider for that race.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Look, it's probably not the strongest division this year. On the pick of his form on the all-weather this winter, I think he'd be very competitive, particularly that conditions race at Wolverhampton, where he ran a very good race, went sort of about 3 lengths clear, and then just caught in the final 100 yards or so. I thought he ran a very good race in the Lincoln. Tried to put it up to the favourite, who obviously went and won well, and then just a few of them came out the pack to swamp him late on. But look, he's a talented horse, and he's got one of these, you know, he's got one of these decent prizes in him somewhere along the line. Yeah.
Talking of talented horses, Lady KERMIT looked class above at Kempston recently. I understand she's going to the novice race at Newcastle on Good Friday too. Yeah,
look, all being well, she'll go to the fillies conditions up there. She did look good at Kempton. She showed a lot of speed. It's obviously hard to judge 2-year-old form at this time of year, but you know, you'd like to see her go in and do it again before we start thinking about anything fancy. But it's definitely the right place to take her, with the conditions of the race and the penalty structure. And look, I've been delighted with her since the race. She'll do a little bit probably with Electric Ladyland, who won at Lingfield at the end of the week, and then they'll both go again next week. Yeah.
And Shamuki's down at Bath to complete your Good Friday team as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she was a great filly for us last year. We only spent 11 grand for her at the Breeze Ups at Ascot, and she ended up winning the St Hughes at Newbury. She ran a great race in the Queen Mary, multiple listed and group placed. And look, she's not big, but Society Rocks aren't big either. You know, Corinthia's tiny, so you know, I hope that she's trained on. She's working very well. The return to better ground, and you know, being against the fillies at Bath will help, and I hope she can run a very good race. Yeah.
Good stuff. Just a quick line or so. Just call your stable staff from last year. How are things with him?
Yeah, look, he's in great form. He's where we want him at the moment. We're sort of 4 or 5 weeks out from York, and he'll kick off in the Westo under a group penalty there, and then hopefully we'll be headed towards Ascot. But he's strengthened well over the winter. He's working very well, and yeah, hopefully we can have a good year with him. Yeah.
And lastly, we're always excited to see what 2-year-olds you have running, given your record. You've mentioned Endless Joy a couple of times this morning, showcasing filly. Just a little update on her for the viewers, if that's okay, please.
Yeah, look, probably of the horses that we've got in work at the moment, that you haven't seen yet, she'd probably be one that does catch the eye. She's a showcasing filly owned by Clipper, and her work would be comparative with some of the fillies that have won already, and I'd imagine you'll see her out at Yarmouth on the 23rd, but sort of irrespective of what happens there, I'd say going forwards she'll hopefully have a good year. Yeah.
Thank you, Archie.
That's great, thank you.